Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm finally back on here. Today's video is a bit different. This is a Bible study recap. I kind of just wanted to explain what we were talking about in this whole video because I kind of just added different clips from a hour plus long Bible study. So the topics are literally living by example, loving and being more like Christ, giving people grace, just different things, different topics that we touched on. We would kind of just like hit flow state, bouncing off of each other. And just wanted to show you guys what this community is about for people who are interested in joining, because this is a space where people can join. For youth, people in their teens, 20s, and to be honest, anyone can really join if they really want to come in. And if people do want to join, they just have to message me or comment down below, and I can obviously share the info with them, add them to the group chat. I'm just going to start posting our Bible studies on here. Just random things that we talk about, random topics. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And you can also just comment down below or message me on Instagram if you are interested in joining Bible studies. We have it on Sundays and Wednesdays. So let me know, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. Like, comment, and subscribe. And also stay tuned for more videos because I'm trying to get back active on here. And yeah, God bless y'all.
That's the same way it is when somebody do you wrong and you don't say nothing, they get to start, oh, wow, I'm expecting him to really crash out. He's not going to crash out. Then they start getting in different loops. So the whole time you give them the opposite of what they expect to have from whatever reaction they expect to come from you. So when you do that, like the Bible says, you heap burning coals on their head. So now they're confused. Now they don't know what's going on. And then because of your action, because of the way you move and treat them, they will start condemning themselves in a way that can make them a better person. Then they're like, oh, I thought Nate was really gonna get mad at me for this, but then he's not really mad. So then I'm the messed up one in this situation. I need to stop doing this. So that's the power you have by treating people, by giving the opposite reaction that people want. Like I said with Mon Dukes, when you do something to Mon Dukes don't say nothing. You know it's deeper than what it is. But if she crash out right then and there, it's like she'll get over it. But if she's like, or if she hits you with the I'm disappointed in you, it's over with. That's how you know. Instead of her saying, oh, what you did and talking, when she said, oh, I'm disappointed in you, or she just, that's how you treat people. Yeah.
Exactly what you just said as well. Because the way our reaction, it can like really help people as well. Because if we don't respond the way people expect us to respond, it also like teaches them something like, okay, I love how they just responded, or the way they just acted towards that whole situation. Now that it makes me want to act better too. It makes me want to do better because they were very mature in how they acted. So we can lead by example, basically. So yeah.
I also want to say, it's the same thing you said, but kind of it makes them like look at themselves different. Like if they was expecting a certain response and you give them a different one, now they're gonna self-reflect and like they're gonna see that they overdid it. It was unnecessary, and then probably take heed to how you reacted and see that they have to do something different. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Something I wanted to add to was like in those type of situations when like they expect you to act a different way. I feel like there's like a misconception with Christians, because being a Christian low-key really like hard, because you really fighting against yourself like every single day, like, and when those like type of things happen, you gotta view the other person as like, what would you do to Jesus himself? Because back in Matthew, I had got the scripture. It says, then the king will reply, truly I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me. So like, that's like going back to when it said, if your enemy is hungry, like feed him and everything. It's like, if you doing it for the least of you, then like that's seen as like honor. That's honorable towards Christ and like God and everything like that. And I feel like going back to the verses before, when we living with love is really like a powerful thing. because like everything that Jesus did for us was out of love. So for us, for him to tell us to love each other as he loved us, that's like that's something we should like strive for, like as Christians or followers of Christ each and every day. And then that'll like start to other people like look at us like different, like, you know what I'm saying, like what he on, like, you know what I'm saying. And then like Soraya was saying, start to self-reflect and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true. And I got one more thing to add to that too. And it's like, as you start, like you said, brother, as you start like building that love and like loving like Christ did, you start to understand that like you like, because for me, I'm always making an example with me, because you know, like when you start loving, or when you start loving the way you supposed to love, you start to understand that you go from when people hurt you, blaming them for hurting you and saying, oh, you know what? You hurt me. You did this. I can't forgive you. You go from that to understanding that we all really just messed up. That's what I went from. I went from putting my hands at everybody like, oh, you did me wrong. You did me wrong. Like, that's terrible. I'll never forgive you for that. To actually understanding, really, like, we all really just messed up. Like, whole time, this same thing this person did to me, I've done it to somebody else. You see, whole time. So I went from actually accusing people of like actually being harsh on people as far as in like, you hurt me, because most of the time you give people the room to hurt you. That's how life is. You give people the room to hurt. Nobody just walk up to you and start hurting you emotionally. Nobody just walk up to you and just come in your life and just start hurting you. You give them the room to do that. So I went from blaming people for the hurt and just saying, you know what, I shouldn't have let this happen, as far as in, because I understand that we all messed up. So why would I understand that we all messed up and then I'll let you do something and not like, I wouldn't take the time to heal myself or work on certain things that I know will jeopardize what I have with you. As far as in like, you not better than me, I'm not better than you. Jesus, the one thing God Jesus did was he point out the fact that we're no good. We're no good, and that's the truth. We're no good. Now one is better than the other. So then when somebody do you wrong, it's just, you can be hurt in that moment, but at the whole time I start thinking like, we all really just messed up, man. When you understand that, you shy away from you move away from certain things. You start giving people the access to hurt you. You start giving people the access to do certain things to you. So instead of, because you don't want to get to the point where you're like, oh, you know what, like, I'm gonna put my hand at you. You did this, you did that, you did this, you did that. You're a terrible person. You did this, you did that. Instead of doing that, you just don't give them the room to hurt you. That's what it is. So the whole time I went from actually understanding love, understanding the right way of love, because Paul said too. He said, "Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy." You know what I'm saying? But whole time I blame myself because I shouldn't have give you that access to do it. That's how I look at it. That's how I look at pain now. I went from actually putting my hands at people, but when people do something to me, I'm like, you know what? I let it happen. That's why it happened. Because if I ain't let it happen, it was never going to happen. You see what I'm saying?
Like when he says to pick up our cross and be more like him, like that's an example of what he's talking about, because he's endured like everything, like even pains that we couldn't even think of. So if he's telling us to just do as little as just forgive them, when all they did was, like they just said something mean, or like you said, they lied to you, or when they're doing small things and he tells you to forgive them, he's saying, because I've endured much worse and I've gotten through it, I know you can get through it through me. So because he's endured everything, he has taken in everything for us. So it's no reason for us to stay sad about something when we can give it to him, the person who can soak up all that stuff and still be okay, and then let ourselves not sin from being upset. That's why he tells us to be more like him, because then we can react in ways that he would have reacted, because there were people who were like mentally, physically, emotionally hurting him, and he never used it against them. He still died for their sins. So if he can die for a sinner's sins after they persecuted him and supported his death, then you can forgive the one person who did something little to you.
The thing about carrying our cross and, you know, doing things like forgiving, the thing about that is that we should be able to forgive, because Jesus obviously has forgiven us for the sins that we committed, which is why he was able to get on that cross and die for us, right? And another thing about forgiving people, I know sometimes it may be hard, but we also have to do a lot of self-reflection on ourselves, because we are no better than people. We may not do the same things that we do, but we also have a lot of like work to do within us, because we also may have done things that were hurtful to people. Doesn't have to be the exact same thing, but we've done things, right? And we too aren't perfect. So we also have to understand, that person may be the way that they are, but we also have to give some grace to people, even though it can be hard, but give people grace, because we can, we messed up too. So we're like, So.
Like I've said the first time, we all messed up. You see, whole time, like she said, Jesus died for the world, right? He died for everybody. So meaning, whatever that you can see as evil. For me, I stopped seeing what's evil now. For me, no more. I don't see anybody as evil. I just see something. For me, I just call it as it's not good. That's what I say. I don't call out. I stopped calling out. I used to call a lot of people. I used to think a lot of things are evil. I used to put my hand at a lot of people, but then I still end up doing the same things that they did. So then, are we all not evil? So then the whole time is we all evil, because then, like she said, why can't you just forgive somebody if Christ endured everything? He took everything, but he still ended up forgiving. Mind you, meaning we know what's going on in the world right now. We heard a lot of things about the situation that's happening right now. We've seen a lot of what we can see as our earthly eyes and say that's evil. We've seen a lot of that's happening. But mind you, Christ died for that too, though. Whole time he died for the person that killed the baby. Whole time he still died for them. So it's hard, because it's certain when you're a Christian, like when you turn to God, you really just look at people doing some things that is evil, that you can see and tell is evil. You can see that and just be like, And then when you understand the gospel, you be like, Christ really died for that too. And the whole time, I'm guilty of the same thing. It might not be on the same level. All sin, you know what I'm saying? There is no sin go unpunished. Mind you, whole time, there was an ultimate sacrifice that needed to be paid for. The Bible said there is no sin go unpunished. But guess what? Jesus Christ already paid it off. It's like, it don't matter how big or small the person's sin is, he still died for us. So that's really what it is.
I want to say that it's kind of reassuring to know that in the Bible, in the beginning, it talks about how from Adam and Eve, the first two people that God made and created literally out of dust, not in a womb, like strictly a piece of God, not a piece, that's Jesus, but like God made Adam and Adam still sinned. God made everybody, he had to wipe out the whole earth, they kept sinning. So he's kind of got to the point where it's like man sins and that's normal. So it's kind of like pointing at other people, it's like you got to check yourself too, because everybody sins. Man's natural nature is to sin. So if you're going to talk about, oh, this person is doing wrong, then it's like you got to check yourself. So that's also like, I agree with what you were saying, where you're like, you stop like checking other people, because you got to check yourself first, where they say the plank in the eye, like you're talking about somebody with the layers when you got a log in yours. So I kind of stopped doing that too. Minding other people's business, kind of, I'll say. Like it's kind of like a worry about yourself type of deal. Like it's really that simple. Because you can't like hold somebody down and prosecute them for sinning. First of all, that's God's job, and second of all, like what do? Like you don't wake up every day and live a perfect life, because you're not Jesus. And that's not to be hard on yourself, because obviously you have to give yourself and other people grace, but man's natural nature is to sin. So grace is given, of course. Obviously, you have to strive to be better, but you can't judge anybody else. And that kind of makes it easier to forgive other people, because knowing that man has sinned from the very beginning and God still gave us all these years later and we're still here, how much more does he need to give you to show you that you should be providing your sisters and brothers the same type of forgiveness that he gives you? He's been giving humans forgiveness forever. He's been forgiving them forever. The amount of people who sin and then go and repent and then do it again, so there's no reason that you aren't forgiving other people. So when he's asking you to do these simple things, it's really simple. When he's saying love other people like I love you, even though you sin against me every single day and I still love you, it's not that. It's not hard to, But that's speaking to myself too, because I kind of have like a forgiveness problem where it's like, it takes me a while. I won't say I don't do it at all, but it takes me a while. So it's like, it's kind of like talking to myself too. It's important to forgive people because the amount of times that you repented and went back and did it again, and he still forgave you and still shows up for you every day, and still fights for you, you might as well just the bare minimum you could do is love everybody else.
Yep.
Like in my head, I was thinking about like all of the commandments, all the ones that I could remember. And it's like now that I like realize what it means to like do them, like commit them, it's really all doing things that's not out of love. Like if you was to hurt somebody, you're not doing that out of love. If you was to like cheat or you know what I'm saying, or steal, that's everything you're not doing out of love.
Yeah.
So I feel like the right way to live is, you know what I'm saying, like Christ, like everything he did, it was out of love.
It just goes back to love. No, you just put me on to something. Wow, oh wow. That's why we need Bible studies, yo. Because we know that sin roots around lack of love, right? I've been in positions where I've loved somebody and cheated.
Also, it's a lack of knowing what love is. So you might say, oh yeah, I love that person, but I did this, but then you didn't know what love was.